How you doing? All right. Yeah, I need to report a crime. I don't know if how this works, but
Hey, what kind of crime?
I guess it'd be considered a crime against the city, maybe.
Hey, what happened?
I don't know. I see these camera-looking things that are on corners, and that there's some corporations that have put them there, and I don't know who to talk to maybe see about getting them removed.
All right, let me have you talk to the front desk. Hold on, please.
Okay.
Police front desk.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm not sure why he transferred me to the front desk, but I'm not sure if you can even help me.
Okay. What do you need?
Well, I was asking him about. I saw that there's cameras on the street corners that are kind of taking pictures of people.
Downtown Naperville?
Kind of all over or wherever.
Well, they're mostly just downtown. I don't know of any place else that we got them in town.
Oh, so you are aware that they're there?
Well, what?
So you are aware that they are there?
Well, there's cameras downtown. Yeah, we got downtown cameras that are watching all the intersections. We're not watching people. We're watching the intersections, the road mostly.
Right, but I see these cameras are taking pictures or something like that?
The red light cameras?
Right.
Those, we don't have any of those in Naperville anymore. We got rid of them.
Oh.
They got them in Aurora, but we don't have any in Naperville. They dropped all of them.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't working for us.
Oh, why did you guys get rid of them?
Because they weren't working.
They weren't working?
They weren't making enough. They weren't earning the revenue that they thought they would earn to pay for the cost of renting the cameras. We don't buy those cameras. We rent them from a company. They set them up. They monitor them for us. Obviously, the city has to pay them money. The amount of revenue we were bringing in for the people violating the red lights wasn't matching the amount we had to pay out, so it was a loss. So they got rid of them because people were obeying the light instead of blowing it. So.
Wait a minute. Let me just get this straight. Am I to understand that the city bought cameras from a company, from a private company, in order to collect revenues from the people of the city?
It's the red light cameras are purchased or leased, I guess you could call it, from another company. And
from a private company.
All the monitoring for us also. What they do is they go back through all the videos, and then they look for violations or anything that they think might be a violation. Then they send that video, because the red light cameras are on video, they send the violations to us. We have a police officer or a police sergeant review that video to determine whether or not it is in fact a violation. If it is in fact a violation, then a citation is sent out. If it's not, then it's not sent out. So they monitor it, but then they don't send out the violations. They send the stuff they think is a violation back to us, and then the police department has the final word as to whether or not it's a traffic violation.
Oh, okay. So they just sit for the initial violation.
Yeah, they go through it originally, and then they think, oh, I think this one's a red light violation. We'll forward that one to the police, and then, oh, this one's questionable. We'll send to that one.
Oh, okay.
And we look at it, and then we decide if that is or isn't, and if a citation's going to be issued.
Yeah, I was always wondering how that works. But that's a private company, also.
Yeah, it's an outside company that we lease the cameras from, and whatever the city was paying those guys to lease the cameras apparently was more than the number of violations they were getting at the intersection, so they got rid of the cameras.
Ah, okay. Now,
does that make sense?
None of it makes sense, but I suppose. Isn't that unconstitutional or something like that?
No, because they're not affecting a person's driving ability. All they're doing is mailing the ticket to the registered owner of the car. So you could loan your car out to your sister, and she blows a light, and the ticket will get sent to you because you're the registered owner. And it has no effect on the driving record. It's fine only. You pay the money. I think it's like $100. Pay $100, and you're done. And that's all it is. It doesn't go on your driving record. It doesn't do anything. But if you think that the ticket was issued in error, you can definitely request a hearing to review it. They won't, if you want to contest it, just like if you wanted to plead not guilty on a charge, like a regular traffic ticket charge. These the red light tickets give you the opportunity to contest it, and then they would have a hearing to review the facts of the case.
But the law clearly states that no one is supposed to collect from the people any equity for a crime that has no victim. So I'm just struggling to understand this.
Well, the way that the Illinois Vehicle Code is written, anytime you commit a traffic violation, society in general is considered the victim.
Society?
And generally, they do not consider traffic laws the way that they consider criminal law. Like traffic violations, you do not have to have intent. You do not have to have knowledge. Whereas with criminal law, you have to have intent and knowledge of the crime.
So in other words, the Constitution or none of that matters.
No, traffic law doesn't apply under the same rules as Illinois Constitution does.
But isn't it true that any law that goes against the Constitution is a law that's not to be followed?
No, I just said to you that traffic law does not follow the same rules as the Illinois Constitution because traffic law is applied based on the fact that people are given the privilege to drive, not the right to drive. Therefore, they are allowed to establish regulations for you for the rules of the road.
I see. Well, what if I wasn't driving? What if I was just, I don't know, traveling about down the highway? I'm going about my way.
Well, then you're driving.
No, because, well, I don't know. In the law dictionary, it says that driving is dealing with commerce, and I wasn't dealing with commerce. I wasn't trading any money or anything like that. I don't
know where you're reading that at.
Well, this is Black's Law Dictionary, Bovaria's Dictionary, Oxford Law Dictionary. The definition of driving is someone who moves about the highway in order to make money from it. You know, kind of like a taxi driver or a limo driver.
Well, that's their interpretation of the meaning. That doesn't mean that that's the literal interpretation of the meaning, and obviously the state of Illinois has a different meaning of the word driving. All of the definitions used in the Illinois Vehicle Code are covered in Chapter 1 of the Illinois Vehicle Code, which you can look up anywhere. You can look it up online. You can go to the library.
Yeah, but the thing is...
And they don't call it a driver. They call it a motorist or an operator.
Right, but...
The operator of a motor vehicle.
Right, and even operator signifies something that is of commerce. And I'm not dealing in commerce. I don't really...
I don't know that that's necessarily true. I mean, an operator, in my interpretation, and I'm not a dictionary, obviously, but an operator would be somebody that's in control of something. So if you are controlling a motor vehicle, you are therefore the operator of the motor vehicle. And are we going somewhere with this conversation, or are you just seeking answers to questions? I mean, is there a violation you're concerned about, or I'm not sure. I mean, you're asking me a lot of questions, but I don't know why. Well,
I received a violation. They sent me a
red light violation.
Right. Camera violation. But they said I'm a Well, first off, they completely threw out the presumption of innocence because they called me a violator on the form here. I don't know.
Well, they have a violation of that vehicle. Like I told you, they don't send the ticket to the driver. They send the ticket to the registered owner. They don't have to be able to identify the driver. It's the same thing with toll violations. If you blow a toll, the tollway authority sends the toll violation to the registered owner of the car because they take a picture of the plate. They don't, the red light cameras are actually pretty good. You can actually see the driver some of the intersections they have the camera where you can actually see the driver. But their primary focus is to get the plate and a vehicle description. And they send the violations to the registered owner of the car.
I was just saying, that has to be unconstitutional somewhere.
It's not unconstitutional because, like I told you, driving is considered a privilege, not a right. We're not violating any rights because you're not given the right to drive. You're given the privilege to drive. And that privilege is granted to you based on you signing your driver's license, which says that I agree to comply with the laws of the state of Illinois regarding vehicles.
Okay. Well, even if I sign my driver's license under duress, threat, and coercion?
Well, you don't have to sign it, but then you probably won't get it.
No, I have the driver's license, but I'm saying it's signed under duress because I don't believe that I'm actually driving anything. I'm not making any money off of this. I'm just simply traveling about my way.
Your interpretation differs than the way that it was translated by the state of Illinois.
Well, this is from the Constitution. There's no law. That's the highest law of this land. There's no law.
The Illinois Constitution doesn't have a definition for driver in it. I guarantee you that. You're getting your definition of driver from a dictionary.
Well, I'm getting a definition from the same dictionary that was used at the time the Constitution was written, which is Bovaria's dictionary.
Right, and they don't refer to drivers in the Constitution. The Constitution refers to personal rights, and you don't have rights as a driver of a vehicle because it's a privilege. It's just like if you wanna, join a health club or something. There's rules at the health club that you have to follow. If you don't follow the rules, they revoke your membership. Well, same thing with driving. You want to drive a car? That's fine. You can drive a car in the state of Illinois, but you need to follow the rules. If you don't follow the rules. If you don't agree with the citation, then request a hearing. The citation, like I said, you don't get red light tickets in Illinois and Naperville anyway. We don't even have any red light cameras.
Right. Well, at this point, it's not even so much the citation. It sounds like fraud to me almost.
It's not fraud. It's you are given a license under the agreement that you will follow the rules of the road. If you don't want to follow the rules of the road, then you're not going to get your driver's license, or your license will be revoked. It's pretty simple. Pretty simple stuff. And it's like I said, it's just like they set rules to anything else. When you go to school, you have to follow the rules of the school. If you don't, you get suspended or expelled or detentions and things along that line. And it's like everything else. Driving is exactly like everything else in life. You're a member of an elite club of people that are allowed to drive in the state of Illinois, and those people agree to follow the rules, and they understand that if they don't follow the rules, their licenses can be taken away from them, or they will be subject to fines.
Well, here's the funny thing. Here's the funny thing. This is like a well-known case. Chicago Motor Coach versus Chicago. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that. And it says the use of the highways for the purpose of travel and transportation is not a mere privilege, but a common and fundamental right of which the public and the individual cannot be rightfully deprived of.
I don't know where you're getting that.
Chicago Motor Coach versus Chicago.
Okay.
And there's maybe 100 or so of cases.
Okay. I'm telling you what I know to be fact. And I don't know that I can pull it up on my internet from here because we have a very big firewall on our computer system.
I wish you could. I could give you at least 100 cases where, because the thing is, we here in America.
And the way that you're saying it does not necessarily mean that they're saying that the driver has the right to drive the car.
No.
I mean, it could be interpreted that it is that the people have the right to public transportation.
No, here's the thing. The driver doesn't have the right to drive the car without a driver's license. But the traveler does have a right to travel about the roads freely without having to have a driver's license because he's not dealing in commerce. When this system was originally set up back in the 50s, it was set up, DMV was set up for people who drove and people who made money for the city. And the trucks that went through the city had to pay that tax. But the people didn't have to pay a tax because they were free people. But we've kind of forgotten about this because we're not taught this. And the DMV and all these other organizations, and now they're trying to move private companies in. That's why they got rid of the camera light, because there's private companies that are infringing on our right to just travel, to hop in our car. If I want to hop in my car and go to my friend's house, I should be able to do that.
You can do that. You just have to follow the rules of the road. And that means follow without violating traffic laws. The traffic laws are in place for a reason. The city and the state maintain the roads. I think that they're well within their rights to say, well, I made this road. If you want to drive on it, you have to follow my rules.
Okay,
That's pretty clear.
Okay, Robertson versus the Department of Public Works.
Yeah.
The citizen does have a right to travel and transfer his property upon the highways and roads and exercise the right. It is not a privilege.
Well, it is a privilege.
But it's not. These are well-known cases.
I think if you called Jesse White, the Secretary of State, and had the same conversation with him, he would completely disagree with you.
Of course, because he made $1 million last year. Of course he would disagree with you.
I don't know how much he made. I don't know what his salary is. So, I don't know what to tell you. First off, the red light cameras aren't in Naperville, so this doesn't even apply to you. I'm just being nice and staying on the phone and having a discussion with you.
True.
There's no bearing on Naperville whatsoever. Because we don't have red light cameras in Naperville.
True. Okay.
So, I'm telling you that driving is a privilege. I've explained why it's a privilege on more than one level. The signing of your driver's license, that also gives us implied consent so that if you're in an accident and we believe that alcohol or drugs are involved, if you are unconscious, we can still take blood and urine from you. That's another part of the reason why you sign your driver's license, which is called implied consent. And you can Google that because I know that it'll give you a lot of information about implied consent. So, but I don't know what else to tell you. I tried pulling up the Chicago Motor Coach versus Chicago to see what you're talking about, and it won't. It's blocked. The firewall won't let me in.
Okay.
All right, but I do have to go. I have people standing in my lobby that I have to take police reports from.
Okay, well, thank you for your time.
Not a problem.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Plausible deniability, man. Deniability.